Welcome to the Aaron L. Show. We about to do this video. Donald Trump is getting his cabinet office together, and he just nominated his new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and everybody is in an uproar wondering who this guy is and why did Trump just vote this guy in office, and is this guy is legit. I just did a little research. I voted for Trump. I want to see what all the uproar was about. So we are going to do a small dive in on who is Pete Hegseth and why did Donald Trump just vote in for Secretary of Defense, somebody that was on the Fox News panel as an analyst. So let's dig into Pete Hegseth. Now, from my research, this guy was born in 1980 from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, I guess starting his political career, he went to Princeton and got a BA. He went to Harvard and got an MPP. So at the same time, you can see this is an educated guy. He went to one of the top schools, and he always was with the Republican Party. From the time he graduated college till now, he's always went with the Republican Party. Now, he's married. He has 7 children. And this guy did go to the military and fight in the Iraq War. He also got 2 Bronze Star medals. He also got a Global War on Terrorism medal. And this guy has put in his work in the military. He also got awards for, Army terrorism. He was a major when he left the military, so he did have some rank. And he's been in the military and active over 20 years. So a lot of people are sitting back going, why would Trump vote in Pete Hegseth to be the Secretary of Defense as if this guy is a joke? And like I said, I did my research and I looked this guy up. And I mean, if you look at it, the guy was born in 1980, so he's 44. He's pretty young. For Secretary of Defense, he's pretty young. But he did go to Harvard and he did go to Princeton, so we know this guy is sharp. So for Trump to put someone like that in his cabinet office, it makes a little sense, but when you look at the overall picture, some people is feeling like it don't make sense. But this guy, he's a family man. He has 7 children. He has a big family. He's been active in the military and still to this present day for 23 years. I think he's an active National Guard. He did go to the Iraq War. He have seen combat. And he's been overseas dealing with combat. So he's actually knowledgeable of tactical moves that you need to make if we do have to get in a war situation with Iraq, Iran, Russia, China. Any of these countries, we have a guy who actually was in the military. So I would want to go to war with somebody who's been in the game than somebody who hasn't been in the game. And then they don't give you 2 bronze medals for just sitting on the sideline watching. This guy was actually in the mix and doing what he had to do. And like I said, he went to Harvard and Princeton, so we know those are top-notch schools. This guy is book smart too, so he's a thinker. And he's sharp. And and one thing I could say is, and a lot of news analysts are talking about this, is that Trump is appointing people who see it Trump way. He's not appointing people who controversial, like Rubio. Everybody's joking about the Rubio nomination because just 4 years ago or 6 years ago, him and Rubio was going at each other's neck with the comments and basically disrespecting each other. But you got to realize Rubio had a change of heart. He see Trump had a position for him. He understand Trump political views, and Rubio's on board. But we going to say Pete Hegseth for this Secretary of Defense position, people are thinking this guy is not qualified. But if you look at the fact he has 2 Bronze Stars, he also has a Global War on Terrorism medal. He's been in the military over 20 years. The guy was a major when he never left the military, so he's an active major, but he's just on a National Guard because he's basically a news analyst for the Republican Party. Basically, he sees what Trump's trying to do, and he's definitely backing Trump up 100%. And Trump see this guy, he see the guy's resume, he probably sat down and talked to this guy is sharp, he's ready to go, and Trump appointed him Secretary of Defense. Now, we can't sit back and crucify this guy and feel like, you know what, this guy absolutely don't know what he's doing. How could somebody not absolutely know what they're doing if they've been to war? He's been to war. He's been to Iran. He's been to Iraq. He's been on the ground floor when bullets were flying. So this guy understands the tactical moves that you need to make to win a war. And if you go to Iran, America, we made mistakes in that Iran war. So I'm pretty sure he understands the mistakes that was made then, and he understands what we should have done different then. So now that he's in position to call the shots, he's going to definitely be able to make a lot more calculated moves than we did back when we were fighting the Iran war, when he was actually there himself. You know, and then given that he's Secretary of Defense, he's going to be able to appoint a cabinet that's up under him to advise him on moves he need to make. Now, he probably going to make the overall decision, but he's actually going to have guys right there advising him, letting him know, hey, we should do it this way or we should do it that way. And then he'll overlook the information that he's being handed and gathered, and then he'll make the ultimate decision. But Pete Hegseth, he is our Secretary of Defense. Donald Trump is getting his cabinet together. He's getting his team together. Like I said, this guy was born in 1980. He comes from Minnesota, Minneapolis. A nice, sharp guy coming out of Harvard and Princeton. Fought in the Iraq War. He has a big family at home, 7 kids. We know this is a family guy. Nice and sharp, went to top-notch colleges. And it's really no knock. He was a major in the military, was in there over 20 years. I really don't see on his resume where everybody's making this big uproar as if this guy is just a joke. You know, this is laughable. How could Trump put this guy in there? Yeah, he's not the conventional guy. Yeah, he's not the guy that's been in the military 50 years, 60, 70 plus years old. Yeah, those are the guys that usually be Secretary of Defense. But we all know Donald Trump is not conventional. He's not the guy that's going to do everything how things always been done. You know, and that's what got Trump voted into office. So you have to sit back for a second and just let everything Trump doing play out, and then we'll be judgmental from that point. But like I said, I did a little bit of research. I didn't do a whole bunch of research. I wanted to take a super deep dive, but just me opening it up and just looking at what I saw from the beginning, Pete Hegseth, his resume do not look like he's just a guy that should not be in office. You know, you can't sit back and say, oh, this guy should not be Secretary of Defense because he knows nothing about the military or war, when this guy's been in the military 20 years and he's still on the National Guard as a reserve active right now. So this is a 20-year veteran who has 2 bronze medals, who has a war on terrorism medal, who is a major in the military, and this guy has been a Republican Party political analyst for years on Fox News. So it's obvious this guy know what he's talking about. He's done a ton of research. He's backing Trump up 100%. He loves his country. He fought in a war for his country. And, you know, this guy has been on the ground floor, like I said, when the bullets were flying and the bombs were dropping. You know, he's seen how other Secretary of Defenses have made calculated moves. He's seen how his sergeants, colonels, and captains conduct themselves when it's wartime. So this guy does have experience. Now, does he have experience as Secretary of Defense? Absolutely not. But guess what? Trump voted him in. This guy is sharp. He's book smart. He has the military background. And, you know, I believe that it was a smart move because, you know what? It's a breath of fresh air at the Secretary of Defense position. So now that he's coming in, yeah, does he have stuff to learn? Absolutely. So when Pete Hegseth is putting his team together, he's going to put a team together that has a plus to his negative. You know what I mean? So that's just how it goes with anything you do. Donald Trump is going to put people in position that's a positive to his negative. So it's just anything you do, that's how you operate. So I believe Pete Hegseth, he was a good pickup for Donald Trump. He was a good pickup for Secretary of Defense. Nice, sharp guy. Went to Harvard and Princeton. Fought in the military war. A war veteran. was a major in the military, and he has a big family, 7 children. I feel like this is somebody that needs to represent the United States on the world floor. Donald Trump for president 2024. This is the Aaron L. Show. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is about Pete Hegseth, the new Secretary of Defense for Donald Trump in the United States of America. I'll holler at y'all in a minute.